Hello, hi, and welcome back to Adventures in Music with me, Jim, where we listen to, talk about, and do all sorts of things music-y. Today we're talking about records. My records. My record collection. We've done lots of this over the last few years. Last time I did this was back in October last year. We got up to S, so now it's time to look at the T section. And there's a fairly big chunk here, not as big as S, so we might whiz through this fairly quickly. But I'll quickly go through what we've got here. So first record we've got here, this is The Blues of T-Bone Walker. This is a really old record. This is my uncle's. He donated it to me. It's, you kind of know what it is. It's very bluesy, Delta bluesy sort of stuff. It's all very cool, but it's kind of not what we really listen to on this channel. Next up we have Talk Talk, Laughing Stock. This is a great band, really good band. I love Talk Talk. I don't think we've ever featured any of their stuff on the channel at all, have we? I think I might need to remedy that at some point soon. If you like Talk Talk, say yes, please. We'll listen to some. So I've now got a few. No, I don't. Only one. Oh my god. Oh man. It's the only one I've got. Remain in Light. I thought I had loads of Talking. I got loads on CD, and I think actually what happened, I used to have loads of these back in the day. But Talking Heads was a really important band for me towards the end of the 1980s. So I had my initial musical foray into rock and metal was Iron Maiden, but I got hanging out with a bunch of kids from a different school and joined a band with them, and they were all into very different music than I was used to, and one of the bands was Talking Heads. In fact, the name of our band was Slippery People, which is a Talking Heads song. So they were very important to me, and it's where I then started to discover a lot of indie as well. So it introduced me to Iggy Pop and The Cure and The Cult a little bit and stuff like that. So that was a sort of like a gateway into some other music. So Talking Heads. Right, next up is... This is the only one I've got by this artist. This is Tame Impala. It's fairly modern. This is I don't know how many years this came out. Not that long ago. Only like 5 years ago, 2020. The Slow Rush. So here's an Australian musician, and what's he called? I think it's called Dan or Justin, or all music written, performed, produced, and mixed by Kevin Parker. It is sort of a proggy pop, prog light-ish. It's good. It's fun. It's different. Anyway, that's that. Right, now what have we got next? Tangerine Dream. Alpha Centauri. We like Tangerine Dream on this channel. Force Majeure, Ricochet. What a great band. Underwater Sunlight. And this one, White Eagle. I have featured Tangerine Dream on the channel a little bit. I think they've cropped up in things like mixtapes and sort of odd songs here and there, theme songs perhaps, but I don't think we've ever done full albums. Perhaps we ought to, because I don't know all of their stuff by any means. But yes, Tangerine Dream, a really important band from an electronic musical point of view. I think they paved the way for so much. Amazing band. Right, this is... I don't know what this is. It's called T. This is quite, well, not even quite. It is a completely unknown record to me. It's a haul of records I made. I keep talking about this every time I do this, from a radio station a number of years ago, and there was loads of them in there and stuff I've never heard of, which includes this. I don't know anything about this whatsoever. 3 tracks on each side. Not even that long. 5, 8 and 3. 5, 6 and 7. So it's quite a short album. I think it might be German. Just by the names. There's no clues on the sleeve. 1975. Perhaps we should try that just as a random experiment to see what on earth this is. Right, we've now got 1, 2, if not 3. Yes, it is 3. From Tears for Fears. Songs from the Big Chair. Of course, we've got, brilliant, 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 The Seeds of Love. And their not quite new one, but the new one from a few years ago, The Tipping Point. Again, prog adjacent, I guess, but really interesting pop music. I like Tears for Fears. Like them very much indeed. Right, this is Ted Nugent. It's the only Ted Nugent I got, and I have not had a chance to listen to this yet. I bought this on the strength of a song that I listened to, I think on a mixtape, not that long ago. What's this album called? It doesn't. It's just called Ted Nugent, I think. But there was a song that I heard on a mixtape from somebody. Oh man, this is good. I think it might have been Stranglehold. That was it. That was the song, and it made an impression on me. And I thought I want to have at least the album that song comes from. So that's what we've got there. So it's Ted Nugent. This is the only album I have from this band. This is Tesseract, the album that came out a couple of years ago on Kscope, and this was very, very kindly sent to me by Tris, who worked at Kscope at the time. He's now moved to a different label, but we've met a few times at different occasions, and he said, "Oh, you really must listen to it." So I know, I want to. I'll get around to it. So I'll send you a copy. So he sent it to me. Isn't that brilliant? So Tesseract. Right, we have now got one of my favourite bands ever from the 80s. And these are the only 2 records I've got of theirs on vinyl. It is it's got Soul Mining, and of course we have Infected. Absolutely just brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. It does sound of its time. It's a little bit dated, I guess, but oh my God, it's so good. Such good music. He's Matt Johnson, that is, has had quite a recent album came out. I think it might have been last year. I've got that on CD. I haven't got it on vinyl, but I really, really like the. Right, I haven't got that much by Thin Lizzy. What I do have is Worth Having. Jailbreak. And of course, probably one of the greatest live albums of all time. It's Live and Dangerous. So, Thin Lizzy, as I say, I don't have a lot of. That is all I have of them. I don't think I have anything else on CD either. They are one of those bands that I've always known. I've always known bits and pieces from them, but never sort of fully invested into their discography and their back catalogue. And I think maybe one day, once I've sort of got everything else, there's another route I'll go. The same with Judas Priest. That's another band I'd love to get into, but I just for some reason never quite got all the bits and pieces I need to. I've got 1 or 2 records of theirs as well. This is an album, again, I know little about. I don't think... Have I played this? I don't know. This is the Kit Cruel Bowl. I bought this at a gig that these guys were playing at, and it was a long time ago, and it was when I didn't have a record player, and I just really wanted to support them. And I've never heard of them since. I hadn't heard of them before. It's just one of those random things you turned up at, and it was. I just fancied going out for an evening, and the band was playing, and I really liked it. But as I say, I really should listen to this. It's never been played because, as I say, at the time I didn't have a record player, and after that, I forgot all about it. It's just kind of been sitting in the collection. It's a very, very, very limited edition numbered. This is 476 of 500. It's a very sort of DIY thing. There's no barcode on there, no label involvement. 2007, I think that says on there. I can't even remember what the music is like. I just know at the time, nearly 20 years ago, that I liked it. That's funny, isn't it? Right. Now then, this is a band that I've seen live and was introduced to on the channel. And I don't think anybody actually ever asked for this. It's just a band I discovered organically. It's Tides from Nebula, a Polish post-rock band. Absolutely phenomenal. And they came and played in Milton Keynes. And I went to see them. It was very, very, very under-attended gig. There might have been like 30, 35, 40 people in the audience. I felt very bad for them. So I bought a record when I was there. And then this came out. I bought this as well, which is a second record. And I like them very much indeed. It's instrumental, Polish, post-rock, think Mogwai, but not quite as scary. Really cool. Sort of like a cross between Mogwai, maybe, and Sigur Rós. I love them. Absolutely love them. This is the one and only Tim Blake. We have played this on the channel. Crystal Machine. What was he? Was he in Hawkwind or something at one point? I can't remember. He was anyway. So he's a keyboardy synth guy. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. What band was he in? I need to just quickly double check that so I'm not talking rubbish. Tim Blake. Not Tom. Tim Blake. English keyboard player. Oh yes, it was Hawkwind and Gong. There we go, I was right. Okay, oh, phew. Not quite as stupid as I thought I was. But yeah, so this is his solo effort. It's fab. If you're interested, go and watch the video I made of this 3 or 4 years ago. It's really cool. Right, now then, we have Todd Rundgren's Utopia. We played this, didn't we? Was that last year? Not that long ago. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, brilliant, brilliant record. But I also have this, which I have not played, which is also Todd Rundgren's Utopia. Another live, which I'm assuming is not all of, but certainly some of what have been on that previous album as presented in a live format. But that's cool. This, I think, this is Asayo Tomita, and it's synth music. The newest sound of Debussy. So it's Snowflakes Are Dancing. Virtuoso electronic performances of Debussy's beautiful tone paintings by Tomita. Snowflakes Are Dancing, Passipede, Gardens in the Rain, The Girl with the Flaxen Hair, Reverie, Aberesque, The Engulfed Cathedral, Footprints in the Snow, etc., etc. Looks like Mr. Spock on the front, and it's not. I think it is Tomita. But yes, that's an interesting listen. Very, very interesting. Right, now we have a bunch of records here by none other than Tool. And I've got Opiates, the EP. We have, these are out of order. Let's get these into some sort of order. There we go. We've got Voila. Of course, not all of it is available on record, is it? We've got the obligatory Lateralis picture disc. And also I've got another version, which is not a picture disc. That's just on black vinyl, but this is not an official release. This is a strange, it's not very good, but it's a Lollapalooza in Texas, Dallas, broadcast 1993. So it's very old live Tool. I don't know if it's an official release or not, but I'm sure everybody else has probably got this as well. It's I sort of thought, oh, that's a Tool record I didn't know existed. I sort of, sort of buyer's regret. Oh, I think this is a bootleg. I'm not sure this is exactly what I wanted, but it's all right. And then, of course, I've got this box set of Fear Inoculum. It's probably overpriced, but it's quite cool. It's presented like a book, so you've got all the stuff in there. I can't even do it. So that's, come on, open up. So there's a booky bit at the front. Then you've got album in there, another album in there. So lots of vinyl. It's a heavyweight thing, very heavyweight thing. You can see this. I don't know if you can see it or not. But anyway, it's very, 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 very cool. It's a very heavyweight vinyl release of Fear Inoculum, and it's spread over a lot of sides of vinyl. It's a beautiful thing, but was it worth it? I don't know. Hoping it might end up appreciating in value over time. Shall I tell you what we've got in here? So, first disc. There's only print. It's only music on one side. And that's why there's so many of them. We've got an etching on the other bit. I think we must be due another Tool album soon. It's 6 years since that came out. This is Toto. We have Toto 4, which has got the Africa and Rosanna on it. And we've got the original debut. I haven't listened to that one. I have listened to that one. I like that. But I know Toto. I mean, I've listened to it, but not on vinyl, is what I'm saying. I've known Toto for years. Interesting. I struggle to sort of place them as what sort of genre they fit into, but I just call them sort of interesting, sort of prog adjacent rock, I guess. I like them. Right, we know about this band. This is Traffic. We've listened to 2 of the albums on here before. John Barleycorn Must Die, which is very, very, very cool. And then The Low Spark of High-Heeled Boys. It's a great record, isn't it? How it's been cut off the corners to make it look three-dimensional. Clever bit of design. And we also have When the Eagle Flies, which we've not played on the channel. I might get round to doing that one at some point. I've never listened to this one. But after the success, or relative success, and the enjoyment of those first 2, I thought, I'll see if I can get some more. Oh, we're getting there. This is a little selection of records that you may recognise. The Bridge Across Forever. The Whirlwind. SMPT. And Kaleidoscope. Kaleidoscope we've not listened to, and I've not listened to yet. I don't know how I've managed to refrain from doing so, because the other 3... Have I listened to 3 of the other ones? I certainly listened to at least 2 other full albums on the channel, The Whirlwind and the original one. I can't remember if I've listened to The Bridge Across Forever. But certainly not listened to this one. So I'd like to do that at some point very, very soon. We then have a couple of records by Trifecta. So Trifecta, there we go, that's their first album, Fragments, and the second one is called The New Normal. This is the really interesting band put together by Craig Blundell, Nick Beggs and Adam Holzman. who were the rhythm section, or the sort of the backing section of Stephen Wilson's touring band and recording band actually for the last few years, and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant stuff. And I have got both of their records. In fact, this one I managed to got twice. I was sent one, which is obviously I'm very gratefully received it, but I have one therefore I can play and one I just keep pristine. Which brings us up to the last few. We're now into the last 4 records. This is absolutely ancient. The Troggs. Trogler Dynamite. This was not sure if it was my mum's or my uncle's or where it came from, but it's certainly turned up with a lot of other old records about 35 or 40 years ago, when someone stopped playing them. They wanted me to look after it, so I had it. Doesn't have Wild Thing on it, which is the only one that most people know from the Troggs, but it's an old record. It's a very, very old record. Probably even, I don't know if it's mono. Yes, mono. I've got a date on there. 1967. It's lovely. Proper, that is. Proper old. Gary Numan, or Tubeway Army. This is the album Replicas, and it's the one that has Our Friends Electric on it. It's great. Gary Numan is one of those artists that has produced some absolutely fantastic stuff that most people tend to like, but don't necessarily own, and people don't talk about very often. And I don't know why. I like Gary Numan, I really do. I think he did some really exciting, innovative, and very interesting stuff with synths when everyone else was doing stuff with guitars, and he was a bit of a pioneer. I think that's probably the right word, in the way that he made properly energetic, industrial music using synths and drum machines. Right, the last 2 records. This is a band that have had somewhat of a sort of a checkered history. It's Tigers of Pan Tang. So I've got this one, which is Don't Stop By. And I have this one, which is called The Cage. And Tigers of Pan Tang are a band that I used to have donkeys years ago. I had a tape of them called Wildcat, and I think it was their first album. And I absolutely loved it. I haven't been able to get that back again on vinyl. I have now got that on CD. I haven't got it on tape anymore. But they were they were a contemporary of Iron Maiden and Saxon and Angel Witch, and so a lot of those sort of early new wave of British heavy metal bands. And they just kind of, there was a lot of churn in the band. People kept leaving, joining, leaving. There was no sort of consistency to it. And the problem is they sort of kind of never had enough momentum to keep going. They kept producing albums. I think they're still producing albums now, but it's there was no sort of solid core to the band and no direction, no driving force like there was with the bands that then sort of went on to succeed, that had a very clear vision of what they were doing, which is a shame because the music was fantastic and is fantastic. I highly recommend listening to them. But there we go. That is my tea section. So hopefully in another month or two's time we'll get round to doing, I don't know if it's enough U's to do all of U's together, or we need to mix up U's and V's. I might do U's and V's together. W's are quite big. Then Y, there's quite a lot of yes in there. There's a lot of Vangelis to come. Spoiling. That's a spoiler alert, isn't it? I shouldn't be doing this. So have a think. If there's anything in there that you think you'd like to hear, that needs to be spun, that you've not heard for ages, you've not heard at all, that you'd be interested in hearing, do let me know. Write it in the comments below, and I promise at some point we'll try and listen to it. Good stuff. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you all on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. And until then, this is Jim. Over and out.